Our section is going to start. So this year we also have CGINAsia. Let people talk about CG industries happen. Sorry. Can you help me? Sorry. Okay. So we talk about the CG industries happen in Japan, how they develop, and also in Korea, as well as in China. And we have another speaker from, okay, Japan, okay. Yeah, so we have 5 presenters today to talk about what happened in Asia. And so the first one will be Yoshifumi Kitamura. He's from Japan. And the next one will be Chu from Korea. And the third is Professor Sintong from Microsoft Asia Research. And the fourth one is Gerald Wang from Shenzhen. He'll talk about the virtual character in the industry in China. And the third one is Spectre. He's talk about the CG in Japan. Okay, so let's get started. Let's welcome Mr. Yoshifumi Kitamura. Yes, yeah.
Thank you very much. So in the session of the CG in Asia, computer graphics in Asia, my title is the CG in Japan. But when I talk this title here in SIGGRAPH, I have to say thank you very much for your concern about the tragedy just 10 days ago. But the problem is still unsolved yet. But we received the wonderful message from Executive Committee of SIGGRAPH and also the SIGGRAPH. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I changed the title. Well, computer graphics and virtual reality and human-computer interactions also are in the field of SIGGRAPH, I believe. So I have to explain a little bit about the conferences in this field in Japan. But probably, as you know, we have SIGGRAPH Asia, the series of SIGGRAPH Asia, which started in 2008 in Singapore. Since then, we already have 11 events until last year. As you can see, the many participants came to SIGGRAPH Asia for these years. Especially, as you can see, almost 10,000 people came to SIGGRAPH Asia in Tokyo. Maybe you can understand which is held in Japan. It's difficult to identify? Yeah. Yokohama, Kobe, Tokyo. The 3 times we had SIGGRAPH Asia in Japan. And actually, the number of participants in Japan is difficult to say, but if I make the graph like this, Yokohama, Kobe, Tokyo. Tokyo is the biggest ever, anyway. Thank you very much. And Kobe is a local maximum, as you can see. The Yokohama is not the biggest in local, but probably you can identify. It is not a bad number. Recently, the conferences held in Japan has very successful result. I'm not sure. Probably the community in Japan is very kind to organize the conferences recently, especially. So now I'm going to show some examples of the evidence the conferences recently held in Japan. First example is virtual reality. Maybe most of you know the conferences specialized in virtual reality. The two representative ones are IEEE Virtual Reality, which is held since 1993. Originally, it started as a IEEE Virtual Reality, or sometimes it's BRAID, VRAIS. But after that, they changed the name of IEEE Virtual Reality. And after that, the IEEE Symposium on 3D User Interfaces started in 2006. Do you know the name of this symposium? 3D UI. It had annually held, but almost 200 persons participated anyway. I started it. And just recently, the IEEE 3D User Interfaces Symposium are merged to the IEEE Virtual Reality. And now it's called the Virtual Reality, and the 3D User Interfaces is the name of the conferences. The other one is ACM VRST. Do you know them? You don't know? Okay, so this is also the started in 1994. And our SIGGRAPH and SIGGRAPH co-sponsor these conferences. None of the participants of these two conferences like this. Both of them held just recently in Japan. IEEE Virtual Reality in Osaka, firstly, had more than 1,000 people participated. So this is the biggest IEEE Virtual Reality ever. And the VRST also collected almost 400, which is the biggest one ever. For example, the IEEE Virtual Reality conferences in Osaka was held just recently in March this year in Osaka. Have you been in Osaka? Yes. Osaka is a very nice place to eat or entertainment. Maybe you have ever seen the manzai or rakugo, which is the comic. So we had a social event in such places. So this is a kind of banquet. Of course, the technical program is very nice, but in addition to that kind of the day programs, another important issue to make the conferences successful is the social event. So we had a reception. As a shopping mall like this, and the many shops, including the restaurant and other omiyage restaurant is a souvenir shop. Also,
let's welcome Mr. Yoshiri.
yeah, like this. The students nearby performed like this. It's very traditional work. After this performance, yeah, this is very important ceremony to start drinking sake. Yeah. you.
Ouais, trop fort.
I guess you become very hungry. This is just before lunch. Anyway, we enjoyed with 1,000 participants like this. And another one, I said VRST, held in Tokyo last year. So this is Tokyo. So we are IEEE Virtual Reality Conference in Osaka. This is Tokyo. So this is the very famous sightseeing spot in Tokyo. And sushi is also appeared. And we had many sponsors, and it's very successful. And in Japan, the virtual reality is becoming popular. And one of the social events held here, VR Zone. So everyone enjoyed the latest virtual reality content like this. That's me that I just enjoyed. And so this is the VRST. Recently, we changed the logo of the VRST. This is the general logo of the VRST, Virtual Reality Software and Technologies, ACM, SIGGRAPH, and SIGGRAPH sponsored ones. These are new ones, new logos. Can you identify the meaning of the logo? So this logos means the vision of how the future VRST should be. At glance, probably, you may think the logo is very strange. However, letter of some kind of V or R or S or T will come to be seen. So that's very interesting. And maybe you can identify the space or 3D, even if this is just a simple design. So that's what we're going to be. Anyway, time is limited, so now we need more. The VRST is held, organized, is sponsored by SIGGRAPH and SIGGRAPH. Some of you will ever participated in the SIGGRAPH-sponsored conferences because CHI means computer human interaction, HCI, CHI. And the SIGGRAPH sponsored 24 sponsored conferences. SIGGRAPH also almost 10 conferences. Anyway, the SIGGRAPH sponsored 24 conferences. For example, the UIST or, of course, a VRST or UbiComp or something like that. UIST is also the co-sponsored conference, SIGGRAPH and SIGGRAPH. Some of them, not all 24, but some of them held recently in Japan, like this. UbiComp, UIST, WIST, UI, ICM, IASS, SUI, held in Japan recently. For example, UbiComp, look at the curve of the UbiComp, these are top blue ones. 3, 8, 3, 4, 10, 730, Osaka marked the biggest one with 861 in 2015. And WIST, next gray ones, usually has a 400, but in Tokyo in 2016, they had 648 participants. It's a maximum. It's the largest number. Other conferences, when the conference is held in Japan, we had a record number of participants. So these are family of SIGGRAPH-sponsored conferences among 24. But biggest one in 24 is CHI. This is the SIGGRAPH flagship-sponsored conferences. CHI has a history of almost a little bit younger than SIGGRAPH, but so similarly, it's almost 36 or 39th conferences held this year in May or April. The size of the conferences of CHI, a little bit smaller than SIGGRAPH, a little bit, I'm not sure. So this year, probably the SIGGRAPH collects 20,000, around 20,000. It's the smaller than SIGGRAPH, but almost all of these participants here, 2,000, 3,000, almost 4,000, attendees to the conference, not the exhibition itself. So in this sense, probably almost a similar size. It's difficult to understand anyway. But this is the curve of the conferences, number of participants, they're becoming larger and larger. This is really, so the SIGGRAPH, the CHI conference also have the keynote or something like that, or demonstrations and the posters. And CHI will come to Japan. Firstly, this is the first CHI held in Japan in 2021. It's May. Almost the time. So this is the members to organize. I have to organize the CHI. Anyway, I don't have time, so probably if I want to exchange the name card, business card with you, but unfortunately, probably I don't have enough time, so maybe this is my business card anyway. Thank you very much.
I'm from academia, but I have been working with the CG and animation industry and community for a long time for my research and collaborative project between industry and academia, and as well as organizing workshop or forum conference like this. So I hope that I will be able to convey some sense of the Korea's CG now on behalf. Due to the time limit, the most part of my talk will be focusing on a couple of like CG leading CG studios in Korea, and one CGI animation recently came out. So maybe let's just start with these questions. Can Korea's CG industry play a major role in Asia? I really hoped, and let's figure this out. And the CG and the VFX are essential to the most game, animation, and entertainment, and movies these days, everything we watch these days. But the history of the Korea CG animation and VFX is relatively short compared to that of the US. And so until early 1990s, domestic CG VFX industry in Korea was an insignificant level. But since the release of the first CG-based film in the mid-1990s, the CG industry in Korea has progressed gradually. And recent few years, domestic high technology-based CG has been evolving rapidly, and it has a huge impact on animation and CG industry in Korea. In early 2010, several top-level CG studios joined forces with each other and set their goals on expanding and making a big step on the global market by developing their own in-house technology. And I think it turned out really well. And those like 3 movies actually made a mega hit in the Korean movie theater with over like 10 or 12 billion viewers, which is huge in Korea. And because some of the CG movies were well received by audience, and now Korea is now revitalizing the entertainment industry, and I recognize the investment inward and outward in CG movies has gradually improved, and things are moving forward, which is good for us. And in fact, over the past few years, Korea VFX companies have been making a giant leap in their technical sophistication as well as making inroads into free market. So until a decade ago, the CG production unit in Korea was not very structured, and a lack of experts with high-end production experience. However, there was always potential in the Korean CG movie industry because some of the VFX-based generated movies often received great evaluation from abroad and the film festival circuit around the world. Actually, those are like a top 5 CG and VFX companies according to the government annual report in 2017. Those 5 like studios are relatively great. They are amazing. A company like the Dexter or Digital Ideas and First Creative Parodies, and there are more, actually have dominated the domestic film market and turning their eyes overseas to break fresh ground with their own unique aesthetic and technical approaches. So I want to share a bit more details about those like a couple of VFX studio with their recent like project, and hopefully I can show that what's going on in Korea CG industry now and where it is headed in the future. Actually, that's just Dexter Studio. This is the first Dexter. The CGI movie. Actually, it's done by film director Kim Yong-hwa, the founder of the Dexter Studio. He actually he is the film director himself and founded this studio with a group of VFX experts together. The reason why he actually set up the studio in the first place because he wanted to create the necessary visual effects for his own film. So that's why he made it, he did it. And the Mystical was the first Dexter CG driven movie I just explained. And after that, after this movie, the studio has obtained impressive achievements on pretty much every level of the movie production, as well as a skilled artist. And a couple of years later, there were 2 like films came out. The title is Along with the Gods. It's one sequel like movies. Actually, those movies made a smash hit in the Korean box office, and I think it's the second most successful Korean movies. Record over like 40 million like viewers. They're really huge. So altogether, 2 movies altogether, it's more than 25 million viewers. It's really, really huge. And now this is the clip. I mean, actually, I've added a little bit from their show reel, and those like a full version of the show reel is available at their website. Oops. actually the studio has quickly established itself as one of the leading studios in Asia with its high quality work, and has been involved in Chinese movies recently, including Jackie Chan's Kung Fu Yoga and other mega hits movies. And one of the projects they have been involved in got the Best VFX Award at the Hong Kong Film Festival, Hong Kong Film Award in 2017. Now Dexter is expanding its territory toward the VR contents, and it's the first VR distribution piece called Mini World. Actually, Mini World is the VR interactive animation using Unreal Engine. The story has 4 stages like the game structure. And I actually did myself, played this VR interactive animation last year. The quality is amazing, and the story was intriguing. So I think they try to produce more like VR contests like this. And this is one of the good example how it collaborates between like industry and academia. Actually, the main production was done by Chungang University 3D and Animation Lab. And so this is quite a promising area in Korea right now. And here is another studio in Korea, a CG studio in Korea, the first creative party. This studio was founded in 1996. And has been delivering innovative visual effects to various Korean films. Actually, the studio is known for its own work on 2 really famous movie directors, Bong Joon-ho, who just got the big award at Cannes this year, and Park Chan-wook. This studio has been working very closely with the 2 directors, and those are produced by Bong Joon-ho. And recently, they worked on Bong Joon-ho's Netflix original movie Okja 2017, which made a short list for the best visual effects category of Academy Awards last year. So here is a clip, and also I edited it, and it's available at their website. So you can, if you want to explore further, please visit their website. And those 2 studios and other top 10 the CG studios in Korea have contributed to the Korean box office smash hit. And it's great to see that the level of Korean CG is getting better and better, and I believe almost close to the Hollywood level. So hopefully they're doing better, and also they are actively collaborating on overseas project these days. And here is another the introduction of the CGI animation due to the time limit, I mean, just to want to show that one CGI movie, CGI animation recently came out. I will just skip this one. Let me skip this one as well. And I show the clip first.
Magic tree, eternal beauty. My shoes! No!
What is it? He's a witch.
Let's catch her and make her break the spell. One's where I can see a witch.
I seriously need to find my dad.
Tell me her name and find her.
Why are they after you?
It's my shoes. They're magical. I think we're both just trapped under the same spell.
But I can't wait for you to see the real me.
Yay! This is awesome!
A couple of days ago, before I came here, this movie was released in Korea. And I heard that it made a top 4 in the Korean box office. And it's been 3 days, but this movie is doing really, really well. And hopefully break the Korean record. Actually, this animation movie was done by Locust Studio, VFX Studio. And okay, we go faster. And this looks like a very familiar story because some of the concepts came from very well-known fairy tales, but at the same time, they added some new stories and novel settings. Locust provide a higher level of a creative solution with a unique pipeline system and has people with highest level of experience in abroad. Like they actually work on so many projects from major studio like Disney and Pixar's. And I believe they have the production ability comparable to Hollywood animation studio. So I think the recent animation Red Shoes actually they creative proves it well. And Locust is continuously producing diverse types of animation made for the theater as well as TV series and VFX movies as well. So hopefully they are moving forward to the goal as a global animation studio to the world. And lastly, there is really interesting in the news happening. Actually, a couple of months ago, the German major VFX company, Scanline VFX, you all like familiar with the VFX studio, right? And actually, the Scanline opened its 6th global studio in the city of Seoul. And VFX is global. It's very famous and specialized in the innovation as an innovation company. And this is the first the office in Asia. So we are very excited. And Seoul studio of Scanline VFX Korea will closely collaborate with other global studios to actively produce Hollywood films for years to come. And there are several actually reasons why Scanline is investing in Seoul. It's because I think the first is extraordinary skills of the Korean artists and community. And second is outstanding technology, like a really fast and high advanced ICT. And third one is enthusiastic and systematic support by the city of Seoul and the government. So that's why they choose the Seoul as like 6th the office in their overseas. So now we are expecting that this way the VFX industry in Korea will advance in quality, and Korean companies can supply for more demand from Hollywood. So overall, Seoul has a favorable investment environment, I guess. Well, one last thing before I finished. I happen to become like a conference chair for next year SIGGRAPH Asia Daegu. So hopefully you guys join our the conference. This year, of course, first Brisbane, coming November, and next year in Daegu in November. So thanks for listening.
So hello everyone. My name is Xin Tong. I'm the principal researcher in the Microsoft Research Asia, located in Beijing. So it's my great pleasure to be here to give you a quick overview of the graphics research in China. So due to the time limit, I will mainly introduce the research works in mainland China and not cover the research in Hong Kong and Taiwan. I'm sorry for that. Yeah. So for this, I will first provide a quick overview of the graphics research community in China, and then introduce several leading research graphics groups in China mainland and their major research directions. And finally, I will discuss about the future of the graphics research in China. So the graphics research in China started in the 1970s. The early work concentrates on the surface modeling for the computer-aided design. So later in the 1980s, more researchers in China joined this graphics research area and boosted more research directions, such as realistic rendering and surface modeling, scientific visualization, as well as virtual reality. So since the 2000s, the graphics research in China have made great progress and becoming the very important contributors in both SIGGRAPH and SIGGRAPH Asia. So there are several graphics-related research associations in China. Under the China Computer Federation, just like the ACM in China, there is a technical committee of the CAD, CAD, and graphics. Besides this, there are other associations, such as the CGS, CSIG, and the CSF. All these associations organize various graphics conferences and events in China. For academic publications, we have the 3 peer-reviewed journals for computer graphics named Computational Visual Media, organized, chaired by Professor Shiming Hu, the Visual Informatics, chaired by Professor Kun Zhou, and the Journal of the CAD and the CG in Chinese, which is chaired by Professor Hu Junbao. Now let's look at the leading graphics groups in mainland China and their research directions. So here is a list of the several representative research groups in the mainland China, including the 2 state K labs in Hangzhou and Beijing, and a set of graphics groups distributed in the different regions of the China. So the state K lab of the CAD and graphics was established in the 1998. Now it has about 55 full-time researchers and about 300 graduate students. The 3 leaders of the lab is Professor Hu Junbao, who conducts research on CAD and VR, AR, and Professor Kun Zhou, who is doing the research on 3D graphics, and Professor Wei Chen that work on the information visualizations. The lab also consists of a set of outstanding young researchers, such as Jing Huang, Wei Weixu, Rui Wang, Hong Zhu, Ying Cai, and Yu Yizheng. Yeah. The main research directions of Professor Hu Junbao's team are the CAD, VR, and AR. So along these directions, their research including the code meshing and hex meshing generation, real-time rendering, mesh deformation, and virtual reality and augmented reality systems. They are also working on the several variant computer vision directions, such as 3D reconstruction and SLAM algorithms. So Professor Kun Zhou's team mainly work on the 3D avatar generation, object digitization, endorsing modeling, and computational fabrications. And their team also published many SIGGRAPH papers and SIGGRAPH Asia papers. Professor Wei Chen's team mainly working on the various aspects of the information visualization and visual analysis. So due to time limit, I will not introduce details. Please go to their web page and for more details of their research works. So another key lab of the virtual reality is in the Beihang University in Beijing, which is led by the Professor Qinping Zhao and Professor Shiming Hu. The research in the lab mainly focuses on the techniques and systems and applications of the virtual reality and the augmented reality. Here I show the two representative works done by the VR lab. The first one is a VR simulation system applied for planning the Beijing Olympics open ceremony. The other is a depth camera-based garment modeling system, which has been published in the SIGGRAPH Asia. Yeah. Not sure if it played. Yeah, here is a garment modeling system based on depth camera. Yeah. So in the Shandong University, the graphics research is mainly conducted by the Professor Baoquan Chen in the Interdisciplinary Research Center. So the Professor Baoquan Chen now is also the professor in the Peking University. They are working closely with the international team for the various graphics topics. As shown here, their research mainly focuses on 3D shape and structure analysis for 3D fabrication, video segmentation, and 3D acquisition. So Professor Falai Chen and Professor Li Gang Liu are in charge of the graphics lab in the University of the Science and Technology of China, located in Hefei, in the central of the China. Yeah. Their research focuses on the geometry modeling, computational fabrication, and recently they are also working on the machine learning techniques for the 3D geometry analysis. Professor Hui Huang is the lead of the Young Graphics Lab, lead of the Young Graphics Lab in the Shenzhen University. Their research directions including the geometry reconstruction and generation, as well as the shape analysis and the transform. So they are working on the different techniques for the 3D reconstruction, how to reconstruct 3D shapes from point clouds, as well as a lot of techniques for the 3D shape analysis. So in the Tsinghua University, there are two graphics labs managed by Professor Shiming Hu and Professor Junhai Yung, respectively. And Professor Shiming Hu's lab, their work mainly working on the focus on the geometry modeling and processing, image and video processing, as well as the rendering and the fluid simulations. Yeah. So Professor Junhai Yung's lab, they are working on several research directions, such as CAD and geometry processing. And recently, they are also working on the facial performance capture. And based on the RGB cameras, they try to capture all the 3D models of the human bodies and the facial animations in real time. And they also have the Professor Shixia Liu's team, who is working on the visual analytics and information visualizations. Yeah. So finally, in the Microsoft Research Asia, so Dr. Baining Guo and I are leading a graphics group that consists of about 10 researchers and 15 research interns there. We are located in Beijing. So in our groups, we are interested in developing techniques and systems for common users to easily create 3D contents. So currently, our main research directions including the geometry modeling. Recently, we are also working on the deep learning for 3D shape analysis and generation, and 3D facial animation, and 3D fabrication for dynamic objects, and physical simulation, as well as appearance modeling and renderings. Yeah, you can, if you are interested in our work, welcome to our webpage to look at those publications and demos there. Yeah. So I just give a very quick overview of the status of graphics research in China. You can see that, and the graphics research in China now is very active, and in recent years, we witness more and more young researchers growing up here and start to continue to contribute to the whole community. And we also see more and more international collaborations happening in China. So looking forward, we are trying to make more contributions to the whole graphics community. We are also looking forward more collaborations with the researchers from the other countries and with the people and company in the graphics industry. In one word, you are always welcome to visit China and visit us. And finally, I would like to thank Professor Shiming Hu and for the most contents most content of the slides, and also thanks to Rick for the invitation. And thank you for your attention. Yeah.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Jello, and I'm the CEO and founder of Fiscode. As our company, we focus on the digitalization of human, and we focus on the core technologies about how to create digital humans quickly, and how to drive this in the use of visual capture technology or the AI techniques. And well, it's a great honor to be here to present this topic today. As our company, as a background, today I want to talk about application scenarios, not a specific technology. Okay. And to expressing how our technology builds in different application scenarios. So my topic today is the development of VTuber in China. Okay. Okay. At the very beginning, I would like to talk about the marketing in China. And the demographic dividend has disappeared in China since 2012, and due to the political and economics reasons. And so the whole, from the historical perspective, the market of the China internet has separated into two different ages. The first age we called the distribution or the channel age. In that period, it has so many distribution platform has established. For example, the WeChat or the other video website, just like a Youku, something just like that, and since 2015, the other age we call it content age has been, coming, and in that period of time, we can see so many different contents as appearing different platform. For example, the drama or the mobile game or 3D animations. Okay, and the total output value is growing very rapidly. It almost achieves 615 billion yuan in 2018, and it still remain 2 times growing speed. Okay. Here is 3 typical applications or 3 typical platforms in China. The first one is WeChat. The WeChat is very popular app in China is the DAU is very crazy. It's almost 1 billion every day, And it's become a Chinese lifestyle, new lifestyle. We always, share our, life with other friends. You post the pictures or you post something just like Twitters or something. Yeah. And the second is a short video platform. It's called TIK Talk. And well, it's a very interesting app. It's actually, the people always think that some short videos, not long, to this platform. And the third one is the Bilibili. It's a broadcasting website. This is the three typical, channel app or distribution app for content. So in this environment and this environment, there has several or many virtual items has starting to become popular on the internet. The platform distribution channel with the infrastructure for this style of old-fashioned. And here is the four very good example here. The first one is a virtual idol from a drama. His name is Zhang Tianqi. This is based on our company's technology. We're doing this real-time, real-time dramas, and based on our agents, based on our technology, we can distribute the content to the fans. The second one is Kizuna-ai. In Japanese words, Kizuna-ai, maybe, is one of the most famous item on YouTube. Yeah. The third one is, his name is whatever, it's Tom. Yeah, it's created by Tencent. It's a new item recently. And the fourth is the most popular, or here has achieved a very good commercial success in China. It's called Luo Tianyi, a very famous item. Okay, so what is VTuber? VTuber, I think, in technical review, is a new way. It's a new distribution way for virtual items. We can broadcast, or we can distribute our contents without this technology to our fans. For example, we can use the real-time agents. We can use the real-time facial capture or body capture technologies to do this content compared with the traditional ways. We can boost these productivities. Well, and the 2018 is the first year of VTuber in China, which has achieved a great success. According to the financial report from Bilibili, that total net income in the first quarter was $200 million. $200 million, and VTuber accounting for 40%, and 58% year-on-year increase. So this market has actually started. Yeah. So in these market environments, the VTuber item has become appeared. But I think there's so many obstacles in the industrial issues. because, the fragmentation of the technical solutions, they cause so many obstacles. For example, they cause low product activities and a very heavy barrier to entry. This is the main cause. This is the main problem cause. So they cannot able to replicate on a large scale. So how do we solve it? And we produce a standard or one-stop shop solution to solve the problems. We establish a high-speed way for the electrical properties to help them to deliver the contents application scenarios very quickly. Okay, to conclusion, the developing speed of Chinese patent entertainment is very fast. So it's remain 2 times growing per year. And I think it will be a 1,000 billion market 3 years later, maybe. So it's a very good opportunity to bring your business to China right now. Okay, thank you. This is my talk.
Is it working? Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Victor. So basically, we're running overtime, so I'm going to tell you the 10-minute presentation in like 3 minutes. So let's hope it works. Anyway, my name is Victor. I'm working for Digital Nature Group at the University of Tsukuba in Japan. And this talk is a little bit different in comparison with others because my laboratory is very interested in interactive and assistive technologies, and this year is kind of like the year of adaptive technology at SIGGRAPH, so I thought it would be a great opportunity to kind of give a quick glimpse into what is happening in this area of research in Japan and how it is related to interactive technologies that are presented here at SIGGRAPH. So without further ado, by assistive technologies, I'm defining any technologies that is trying to improve the quality of life for elderly or disabled people. And in this short talk, I'm going to look at how these technologies are represented and interacting with each other in Japanese academia and industry. And by the way, since today is Sunday, is the first day of SIGGRAPH, so if you want to see more adaptive tech content, you can just look it up by using this icon. I think it's going to be posted at adaptive tech demos and talks, etc. So the main problem in Japan right now when it comes to assistive technologies is the aging population. There's too many old people in Japan. Basically, the idea is that the population of Japan is aging very rapidly, and one of the ways to address that is by investing into assistive technologies that would kind of help the future aging population of Japan to be better integrated in the society. And the government has a lot of initiatives. One of the most, I guess, marketed one is the Society 5.0, where the Japanese government is trying to solve the problems of aging population and other social problems by investing into high technologies such as AI, robotics, AR, VR, etc. So yeah, so if you're going to look more into assistive technology in Japan, you will see this term more and more often. So I decided to look at the adaptive tech from the perspective that was described in an article by one of the adaptive tech chairs, Natalie Rountree. She was talking about 4 categories in which the interactive adaptive technologies could be categorized in terms of mobility, vision, hearing, and cognitive assistance. So here I'm going to just give you a very quick overview of what is happening in Japan in terms of technology. So when it comes to mobility, quite often I see interactive applications being done in terms of robotic and telepresence. So for instance, my laboratory did the tele-wheelchair project a few years ago, where a remote person connects to a patient and helps them drive their wheelchair, etc. There's also a startup Teleexistence that is doing a similar idea with robotics that allows you to teleport into a remote robot and use it for further assistance or traveling, etc. There is also a lot of work done in terms of rehabilitation. For instance, if you've been to SIGGRAPH last year, the project MetaLimbs was showcasing like 2 separate extra hands behind you. And one of the kind of suggested uses of that project was to use these hands as kind of a guidance to help you in further rehabilitation. There is also the Accelerating Human Reaction project by University of Chicago and Sony CSL, I think downstairs at ETech. They're using electric muscle stimulation to coordinate your reflexes, to synchronize your reflexes, which is also used in some kind of assistive help or training. In terms of vision, I guess there is a lot of work being done, especially when it comes to smart glasses and mixed reality interactions. One of the most interesting ones, in my opinion, is the Chroma glasses that was presented at CAI. It is a work with University of Otago and Tokyo Tech, where they try to help people with color blindness to see the colors. And my laboratory is working on the smart text-to-speech glasses called Oton Glass that are helping people to read things that are hardly visible. In terms of hearing, there's usually research that is being done in terms of how can we reroute the unavailable senses towards haptics or other forms of interaction. Okay, I've been told that I'm out of time. Okay. Real quick. So basically, there is a lot of interest in adaptive technology in Japan, and we're having Birds of a Feather session about it tomorrow. So please come over if you want to have a discussion, and maybe if you want to present or somehow engage with our session in context, please come over tomorrow. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, that's all. Sorry for the extending the time for the next section. Very sorry, but if you have any questions, you can find the speakers and ask them questions. Okay, outside the room. Thank you.